Well, folks, we're back again, and the story just keeps on going. Now, some of this is review, but it's just other things I noticed because the fella on the last video, which I'm not sure which one of these is going to air first, but nonetheless, pointed out the shock mount differences, so keep an eye out for that video. But also the tail light mount, we went over that, but this is welded. The seat latch catch. So then you have this, and I'll notice this is beefier too, but this is bolt on here. So now looking production wise, aside from the swing arm being totally different in the rear here for the drum brake, it's also bigger up here. These webbings up here, that goes way up to the pivot point, almost back to the spring. It's like got shapes rolled into it, and it's extra strong. They must have found out it was weak, because that's all this one has, next to nothing. So with that, the swing arm is a one-off on the prototype. So when everybody wants to say, "Oh, tricycle, you're such a moron," how is that possible that they went to the dealer and bought that, or even that for that matter, and turned it into this? Ain't no way some kid and his dad cut it all up and re-welded it for minimal gains. Now the other thing is, I didn't want to go nuts with this little detail stuff, but this brake disc has about 5,000 holes in it. I don't know who would sit there and drill all of them, but it could be done, and that could be done untraceably. So if you look at an 82, there's much more uniformity and much less holes. So we ain't going to fight over that too much, because that could be some sort of additional work that they did to it upon running it, or that's what a pre-production rear disc brake disc looked like. And it also has two-piece aluminum wheels. Now I don't know if you could buy them back in the day, or if Honda was experimenting with aluminum wheels. That's why I didn't say anything, but I'm just going to tell you now that it has them. I'm not going to beat you over the head with that. But something else I found, I'm not sure where it is here on the brake line. Is that it there? No. Up here on the bottom side of the brake line. I was actually underneath here looking at the bottom of the shock to see if I could see anything in. Yeah, it's all dirty and nasty. But if I can get myself wedged down in here, we might. Well, here, we'll go in here. Dang, this is hard to maneuver a bulky, ugly phone through there. Yeah. Right there is 1176 in the center of the screen. So, an 1176 brake line puts this thing, I would say, in the neighborhood of 1978, like I've been saying, for testing, and then sent the Dimension, sent their notes back to Japan, and then they started production probably in 80, because if you want units on the floor by October, November of 80 for the 81 model year, you got to be in production by January, February, and have them shipping out by the 4th of July. So I mean, that's just my rough numbers. Something else I noticed too, there's not a whole lot of shape difference with this tank brace, but there's a number there. This one don't have a number. The 81 and 82 both do. I'm trying to wipe it off there, but it doesn't look like there's any evidence of a number. And we already went over the little serial number area down here, but look at how big that knob is and how there's a gap there. Then when you go over to the production 81, 82, the knob, it's hard to see with the chain guard, but it's there, trust me. The knob is connected. There's no gap there. So it's a raised area the whole way across. And the 82 engine cases are the same way. So the prototype cases, you know, tricycle, you dummy. That's the way the kid and his dad cast those cases when they did it out back in the sandbox. So if you want to argue, you can continue to argue, but I keep finding more and more stuff. It's just like, you can just see the evolution. you can see the improvement. Probably after you jump this thing about 10 times, this thing ripped clean off. So they had to figure something out. So we had that. Evolution. It's just what happens. Something else I noticed was a tab here on the bottom of the frame. Back here is a tab to shock mount. The rear tab stays, this tab got deleted. There's no tab there because the airbox, it's moved up to the side. They might have been thinking of mounting the airbox under the frame, but the rear tab, modified of course, is still there for the airbox. So it's just evolutionary things that changed. And you know, this tab here, like for the coil, it slides off. You guys probably recognize that, sliding CDI boxes off of your 250Rs and 350Xs and stuff. Okay, so see that there? They were smart enough to include that when they made this, I guess you'd call it tie together plate. I don't know what you'd call it. Convergence point here. And those aren't cracks in the metal. That's actually got body filler in there. That's plastic. A little bit of Bondo action. So, just look how well done this is. There's a carriage bolt of some sort right there. And this stamping looks like a typical Honda stamping. These frame tubes come up into it and meet up there. I mean, it's very well done. So that's why I get just a little bit contemptible when somebody says, "Oh, tricycle, you dummy." Seems like a little Sanford and Son there, but it just looks too well done to have been done in a driveway for a guy that just wants to race and win. You want to race and win, you don't smear Bondo on there. You don't care about it. It's supposed to help you get the lead, not look good. So, like I said, all that, this just looking the way everything else does. I mean, look at these little thin brackets, the way they're stamped out, and these gussets on the frame, tail light mounts and stuff. This tank stamping here, that just looks like it all come off of the same stamping with the same methods and done at the same time. So, there's more than enough here to tell me I already know what it is. And I guess I should just hang it up, because if somebody's not convinced by now, they're never going to be. And I hate to harp on it, but I know you guys like looking at it, and a lot of people like my forensic analyses of all this. So I'm kind of having fun with it. But I mean, just dumb little stuff. And we talked about the way the motor mount is down here and stuff. And you look at this here. That is what it is. It holds the swing arm in line for your chain guide adjustment and all that. But then you go to the production, there's a hole there, and that's a little beefier. So what were they planning on doing? I don't know. Same thing here. The big gusset here. 82 is real stiff and gusseted there for that master cylinder. Prototype, zero gusseting. Absolutely none. So, like I said, I could go and talk about this for hours and hours and days, but that engine case is one off, the swing arm is one off, and the front frame is one off, but like I said, we could totally get rid of that and forget it, and there's still enough here to convince me. But like I said, the holes, extra holes in the brake drum or rotor, that I can't really argue with you about. And the aluminum wheels, you might have been able to buy them in 82, 83. They are 3-lug, so they fit the old hubs. But they might have been some Sundahl aftermarket thing. And I don't know what this is. I don't know if it was an extra piece of frame come out to hold the exhaust. This exhaust is like not much there. You got both springs, which is surprising. No bottom mount. And a very crude top mount. So I'm not sure what the exhaust looked like. Now see, if a kid and his dad did it, right there is what it would look like. Absolute trash. Ain't nobody, who knows, there might even be some braze in there, I don't even know. But what a disaster. You think some kid and his dad that did that are going to do this beautiful job? I don't think so. So, there's just lots of little things. I'll probably find more and do more videos, because I wanted to cover that date on the brake line, the tabs for the airbox, the holes in the brake disc, the little area there around the serial number. So there's lots and lots and lots to cover. Oh, and this piece of the swing arm too down in there. That's pretty dang skimpy, but That swing arm is one off. We already knew that, so I don't want to beat you over the head with this stuff too much, but keep your eyes peeled because there might be more fun and exciting prototype content coming your way.